family-owned, built on values that put you first. From first homes to debt consolidation and self-employed loans, we've got the experience and the heart to guide you through. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Visit O'BrienHomeLoans.com for your free quote today.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the journey for focus, clarity, and mental mastery is about to begin. Live from WSIC Studios on the shores of Lake Norman, the show that gives you the tools to think sharper, sleep deeper, manage stress, and unlock your full mental potential. This is Your Brain Matters. And now, with over 30 years of brain science, more than 70,000 brain analyses, bringing neuroscience to everyday life, here's your host, Dr. Tim Royer.
Welcome. Your Brain Matters. We are so excited to have you. I'm here with Nurse Amy, my business partner and also my life partner. And we're going on to I love this topic we're talking about today.
Oh, yeah. We are rolling into sleep. Another week. We're going to do the whole month of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you do this for a third of your life.
So we should at least give it 1 month of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I turned, as we know from the last time, 60. So I've spent 20 years sleeping. I should be pretty good at it.
You may have spent 21. I'm not sure. Doc is a professional sleeper.
Amen.
So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, I mean, you got to respect it, man. He can throw down some sleep minutes like none other.
But I haven't always been that way. That's something like in my mid-40s, I said, I want to become a great sleeper. If I don't become anything else, okay, if I don't hit the right stock in the stock market, if I don't, whatever, I want to be a great sleeper.
And so you invested in it.
I did.
He's
and I measured it,
and now he's watching the stocks rise.
Let's go, the sleep stocks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we've been talking about sleep. We love to talk about sleep because it is your superpower. It really is your superpower. You can harness sleep. You can take on anything. Builds resilience, sharpens focus, fixes your hormones. I mean, it does all kinds of stuff. So last week we started by looking at the mechanics of sleep. Like, how is it broken down? What is deep sleep? What is REM sleep? Really good. If you haven't listened to that episode, you got to go back. Please go back and listen to that. Yeah. This week we're all about measuring.
Right. You got to hear last week because that's the what that we're measuring. And then this week we're going to talk about how we measure it. And how we don't measure it. And so that's really good stuff, lots of pieces. But honestly, everyone should know, like, we're literally dedicating a lot of time to this subject because it is that important. Like, we can't really overemphasize. The only other thing we would emphasize more than sleep is breathing, and we've already done that.
Right.
So, I mean, sleep is prime.
Now, these things, breathing and sleep, those are super expensive to go buy, aren't they?
These are free.
What?
Free resources.
You mean air is free?
Yeah, you don't have to go and pick them up or get pre-authorization for these from your insurance company. It's free. It's right here.
And sleep, I got to get HSA dollars for that or something like that. No. No, you can actually choose.
Right?
Oh,
it is right there within arm's reach.
Yeah, that is just nuts,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So before we go much further, we want a few of our announcements.
Oh, okay. Announcements. A few highlights of what's been going on.
Amy loves this one because we're back at it. We got the grand opening special.
Oh, yeah.
We're still doing it.
Woo! The grand opening.
It's just for the rest of this month.
Okay, so it really is coming to an end, everybody. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end of that, then I get to give an offer after that. So that's going to be in February.
You got an offer coming in February?
Yeah, so stay tuned. Because it's not just Doc that gets to give things away.
Oh, boy. Hold on to my car keys. So, grand opening special, $250. Normally, brain scan, heart scan, breathing, meeting with me for 45 minutes. That's typically a $500 assessment, okay? And we're doing this up until the end of this month for $250. We actually had a few people signed up this month, so this is pretty cool.
Well, they're the smart ones out there.
Yeah, they are.
They're taking advantage of it. It's a good investment.
In 8 days, see you later. Bye.
Yeah,
back to 500. We've done a few other things this month. Lecture in Naples last week.
Yep.
Unbelievable. We've been doing Reclaim Your Brain lectures for the last year or two here, and then done them many times in Michigan. Unbelievable turnout in Naples. We had close to 60 people there.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
That was great because people there, it was actually literally standing room only because we were anticipating about 30.
Yeah.
And so then they were pulling chairs into the back of the room. And then when the chairs ran out, they were standing. So
it was great.
I mean, if you want to speak to a standing room only audience, you just have to get a small room.
Yes, exactly.
Is that the lesson learned?
That's the way it worked. Was like
Yeah.
I was like last minute we threw out a Facebook ad.
Right.
Next thing we know, we had 56 people in the room. It was insane. And then we had kits to do the $250 assessment for coming to the lecture.
Oh yeah, that was.
And we went through the kits in like 5 minutes.
Gone.
And there was a line of
Yeah.
people. I'm like, I'm sorry, we can't do your assessments. We have to mail them to
Yeah.
us. So that was really good. Last week we did a lecture to some NASCAR drivers up at Liberty University. Their main organization, Clear 28, is right here in Mooresville, which is really cool. That was fun, spending a half day with these drivers, looking at their brains, looking at their vision, looking at their breathing, their heart. It was really a fun experience. Nice small group, and really diving deep into their autonomic nervous system was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's impressive when you consider like what they're doing in their brain for their profession.
Yeah, just crazy, right?
It's insane how quick they're needing to make adjustments and what are their eyes doing and how is their breathing impacting all of that. That's so cool that you could help them find the next gear, so to speak, that's available. But I also wondered if at any point in the room, did you all look at each other and said, how did we all end up in Liberty area when we're all from right here?
Yeah, we all drove up there for
Yeah.
that. But there was some really key leadership and stuff that
were more in that area.
Coordinating some things with Clear 28. It was really good. We actually had Ben Roethlisberger, who was the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, was there.
Yeah.
He spoke right after me. So, hey, what can I say?
Tim.
I'm the warm-up band for Big Ben.
Yeah.
Yes. We got 1 minute left.
Is Ben Roethlisberger just a little bit bigger than you?
He's three of me. So Amy's going to read our quote from Director of Performance Chris Casola at Liberty. He's a senior associate for the athletic department for Champion Performance. Incredible guy. Read the quote for us.
All right. Chris Casola says, the brain, it is ground zero, the control center. It is upstream. It's the data processing center that takes input from the autonomic nervous system, heart, thoughts, experiences, etc., and informs our outward expression to the world.
Wow. Your brain matters.
Your brain absolutely matters. And for Chris, his brain impacts
he's
a
amazing.
whole hundreds of athletes at Liberty University.
Yeah, every day.
Don't go anywhere. Dr. Tim Royer will be right back with more ways to make your brain work for you. Your Brain Matters on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, you never know, a big and bad winter storm was on the way. Pretty quiet, tranquil weather, sunshine, upper 50s for our Thursday to enjoy. Then as we get into the upcoming weekend, it does look like we're going to have a mess on our hands. Still not ready to iron out exact details, but getting a clearer picture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain on Sunday that could leave long-lasting travel and power impacts into next week. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Give the gift of wow. Shop at Harrison's. They'll be all smiles in new Carhartt. Harriet has layers they'll love, and there's nothing merrier than a pair of Tacovas. Find gifts for everyone at the home of Work Western and wow in Mooresville or at harrisonsusa.com.
Here's your WSIC community calendar.
We've got performances, exhibitions, and live music you won't want to miss, all close to home.
First up, head to the Armour Street Theater in downtown Davidson for a timeless theatrical experience. The Davidson Community Players present Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale, a powerful story of jealousy, forgiveness, and redemption brought to life on stage. Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale runs January 22nd through February 8th. Find specific showtimes, ticket info, and more at davidsoncommunityplayers.org under the Shows tab. That's davidsoncommunityplayers.org and take in Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale starting January 22nd.
If live music is more your style, plan a trip to the Twisted Oak in Statesville on Saturday, January 24th for Rocky Lynn Live. Rocky's blend of country, rock, and heartland energy makes for a night of great tunes and good vibes. The show kicks off at 7:30, and all the details you need are up at downtownstatesville.com. You won't want to miss Rocky's first hometown show of 2026, Saturday, January 24th. Rocky Lynn Live at the Twisted Oak in Statesville.
And finally, for our art lovers, Mooresville Arts at the Depot invites you to the 13th annual Winter Juried Exhibition, running January 20th through February 26th at the historic train depot in downtown Mooresville. See incredible work from local and regional artists judged by Marissa Pascucci, gallery and collection coordinator from Davidson College. Don't miss the artist reception on Friday, January 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m. To learn more about this exhibition and other arts offerings, head to mooresvillearts.org.
For more Lake Norman news, events, job opportunities, and real estate information, visit liveworkplaylkn.com.
That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
We're back with more of what your brain's been craving: balance, calm, and better thinking. Your Brain Matters with Dr. Tim Royer. WSIC Local starts here.
Okay, welcome back. We are moving into the science corner.
Yes.
And we are going to be talking today about measuring sleep. So I wanted to start out by saying that sleep is not a luxury. I think our culture is messed up on this one. It's like, oh, if you have all your ducks in a row, then you get to sleep. But if your life is more stressful or you have more on your plate, you don't get to sleep. And that's just a really, really mixed up way of looking at it, because sleep is the foundation that your brain needs to build attention, emotional control, performance, and all those things that we need for health. So we are really, really trying to unpack this in a way that everybody can understand and grab onto. It's important for you. It's not just me and what I got out of it, or you and what you get out of it.
Right.
Is literally part of being a human is having sleep be part of your journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a healing process, the sleep, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes, healing is a great word.
We become inflamed all day long, and it's the time that the inflammation decreases, or it should, and the body goes into the state of restoration, because we can never turn off the brain. So this is the way the brain can go slow enough so that it can actually heal itself. And I love what you said about this whole, let's frame it, it's not a luxury. And we do a lot in the business spaces. We've provided brain programs for Adobe. That's a pretty big company, right, out in California. We've done all kinds of stuff at a high level business, executive entrepreneurs. Tony Robbins, we do a ton of work with. I've been working with him for a number of years. I mean, we're really in this business space. And the common thing that happens is sleep deprivation becomes a badge of honor.
Right.
Right?
Right. It's so shocking to me that it seems like almost the higher we go in the levels of financial well-being, the worse the sleep is. And it's like, we just hear the stories of how, that's for everybody else, but that's just not how it works for me. And it's like, at some point, you have to look at the science.
Yeah, you'll have somebody come in. I remember back in our office in Grand Rapids, we'd have our employees come in and, man, I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. And it's like, is that supposed to be like, are we supposed to applaud you for that? I
Yeah.
actually want you to go back home
Go home
because you are a waste of time for me
without.
when you walk in with it. That's not a badge of honor. That's like you're coming in and like you haven't put half your clothes on
Yeah.
or you forgot your computer or,
Right.
what's the deal? Like, let's get it together. Sleep is necessary for performing at a high level.
Right.
Right.
I mean, isn't there like an equation of sleep? This amount of sleep deprivation equals this amount of alcohol
Absolutely.
intake,
Yeah.
and so I mean, if you're thinking about that, you're like, who's coming into work intoxicated? Like that's obviously not going to work. So why are we coming in without rest and without sleep? So
Yeah.
we know from a brain standpoint, we know the science, we know the well-being features, but we're trying to explain it to everyone in a way that each person can say, wait a minute, now that actually makes sense to me. I'm going to make an effort to do that better.
Yes.
So, Doc,
Yeah.
it's New Year's, and there's a lot of New Year's resolutions out there.
Yes.
And I've already had 3 clients that received Aura rings for
Big time.
Christmas. And so they're coming to me and they're saying, oh, my sleeping is not as good as I thought it was. And so I would like for you to explain, how should I respond to that, how and why? Because these measurables, there are these wearables that measure, they're so cool, right?
Yes, aren't they?
I mean, you're gathering so much information, but in this space, specifically the sleep space, Doc and I are finding that the information is not super accurate to help you make decisions from.
Yeah, so Amy's being very politically correct here with the Aura rings, the Whoops, the Fitbits. You heard me say it. I said Whoop,
He did.
Fitbit, Aura, Apple Watch, and she's being very nice.
I
How
have
about
one.
if-
I have one, and if the watch.
yeah.
Yeah.
How about if I say junk?
In relation to measuring sleep.
Sleep architecture,
Yeah.
junk.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I noticed the anatomy of a human, their brain was not located on the bones of their wrist.
Okay. So
what? I don't think. Do you think? I've never seen anybody walk around with a 3.5 pound organ on their wrist.
Right. So
You seen that?
we're pretty clear that we're not getting EEG data
No,
from
like-
the ring or the watch or any of that.
Yes, and I really don't know from a kind of a title protection of these things like deep sleep, REM sleep, those things. Those are like important. They should be considered medical terms, but they're not really. They're passing, kind of slipping around that.
Yeah.
Because really, to get deep sleep and REM sleep, you have to measure the electrical current in the brain.
Okay. And we're 100% clear that's not what's being measured on the wrist. So what
Absolutely.
is being measured?
Well, you're looking at some different physiological variables. You're looking at movement.
Yep.
Okay, so you get your hand trapped under you. You
What's
do
that
some other
called
things.
again, the movement?
Actiograph.
The actiograph.
We used to use,
Actiography.
yes, we used to use.
That's a big word for today.
I know, that's our big word. I
Okay.
don't think I could ever spell it. There's no way. Actiography. But I mean, back in the early 90s, we were using these actiographs on people's wrists. I mean, they were the size of like a telephone
Yes,
book. Nobody
yeah.
knows what a telephone book is.
They were the
They're
size of a
computer?
small iPad.
iPad on your wrist to
Yeah.
measure this. Now we can do it in a small chip. And that's helpful, but it doesn't really measure what your brain is going into these stages. There's just
Right.
algorithms to say, well, we think it's that. They're measuring temperature.
Yep.
They're measuring skin conductance sometimes. And they're doing a lot off of HRV,
Yeah.
heart rate variability, and
Mhm.
they're doing a lot off of pulse. But again, your brain does not reside in your finger or in your hand. It's on your brain. So you have to cross-reference these things
Right.
with true medical grade sleep study.
Right.
Okay, so then when I say sleep study, all of a sudden, like everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not doing that," because they think sleep study means I got to go to a lab. They're going to put all these things on my head. I'm not going to get a good night's of sleep. And what does most sleep study do with most sleep doctors? Hey, you need to wear CPAP. That's
Mhm.
all the sleep studies are doing most of the time is CPAP or no CPAP. It kind of becomes a factory for selling CPAPs. not really understanding sleep architecture.
Yeah, because I don't actually think from a medical perspective that people are doing sleep studies for brain performance.
No, they're not.
They're doing it because like their blood pressure's going up,
Their
they have
weight.
sleep apnea, their
Yeah.
weight's going up, and their doctor needs to rule out those major sleep issues. So that's not really the track we're on.
No, and so we don't just throw out polysomnograph. That's what that's called.
Mm-hmm.
With the fact, well, I don't need that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you've got this massive chasm between your aura ring
Mm-hmm.
and a true sleep study. And so everybody just says, well, my aura ring's telling me exactly how much deep sleep you had. No, it is not. It's not telling you how much REM sleep you had. It is possible that it's giving you a good range of how long you were asleep.
Yes.
But please listen to last week's episode. You need to understand that we're building something in the sleep cycle.
Right.
And those building components of the foundation of deep and REM aren't being able to be measured in the aura ring, whoop, those things.
Yeah, you're basically getting your time asleep, maybe that time in bed, and wakefulness is probably close to being correct.
Yeah, you're going to probably pick
Yep.
that up because the heart changes, skin
Okay.
temperature, those
Yep.
things change. But how they've made the leap from
Is
that,
a little
it's fishy.
That's a little fishy. Yeah, where they're saying REM and without any EEG measurement. So let's talk about how you would measure sleep.
Yeah. So we want to look at more medical grade things. So one of the first thing, the simplest thing to do
Mm-hmm.
is we do need to see how you're breathing at night. So the thing with breathing is during the day, we're rarely, unless we have some type of compromised medical condition, we're rarely going to desat or not have oxygen in our blood below 94.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So we need something at night that shows us, are you desatting? Are you dropping below 94? And so this O2 ring is great because it's a continuous monitor, not just a pulse ox. So we put it on your thumb and you wear it at night. And you wear that all night long for multiple nights, and we can see how often you might have not gotten enough oxygen or you had some type of breathing issue. So we're kind of separating this out. Instead of everything that's done at a full sleep study, we can first measure the most important thing. Are you having problems getting oxygen in? And so an O2 ring is the best way to get that. That's number one.
Yeah, and that is rock solid, like medical grade information, just like when you go to the doctor and they look at your O2 sats. So how much does that cost?
You can buy one of those online on Amazon for about $150.
Nice. Okay.
they're-
And then Doc will talk to us later about other ways he uses that, because we can also use it not just to measure, but also to manage.
Yes.
So
the
that's
manage-
next week.
Oh, that's
So,
a good point.
Yeah. So anyway, that one is a great little $150 buy. Is a really good.
Oh,
one.
and it's going to get you a lot of mileage because you can use it all the time,
Yep.
and you'll learn a lot from that.
All right. So what do we have? That's next.
Okay. So the next thing that I would look at is we do need to measure the brain. So we have a great device. It's about the size of an iPhone. It's called a Z machine, and then it has 3 leads that goes directly to the brain.
Oh, so we're actually measuring brainwave activity.
Brain. Wouldn't it be nice to
Yeah.
connect to the brain? Because the
Smart.
only way you can define sleep or deep sleep and REM sleep is to actually measure the electrical current in the brain. So this gets a sample every few seconds of what's going on in the EEG, and then it's able to create the sleep architecture that is within 1% of a full sleep study that you would get at a lab.
Okay, but you get to sleep in your own bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we do is we typically do multiple nights for that, just in case the first night you put this on, it was a little off. So
Perfect.
when we come back, we're going to talk about some more devices that we can use, and then we're going to get into the mind.
Take a breath. Let your brain reset. We'll be right back with Dr. Tim Royer on Your Brain Matters. WSIC Local starts here.
Well, you never know, a big and bad winter storm was on the way. Pretty quiet, tranquil weather, sunshine, upper 50s for our Thursday to enjoy. Then as we get into the upcoming weekend, it does look like we're going to have a mess on our hands. Still not ready to iron out exact details, but getting a clearer picture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain on Sunday that could leave long-lasting travel and power impacts in the next week. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Inspire your team and gallop to greatness. Our horses at Willow Equine are outstanding at working with people on leadership and team building skills, perfect for corporate retreats. Visit willowequine.com as you gallop to greatness.
Jay White here from Central Line Realty. We're right in the center of North Carolina, and we put you at the center of everything we do. If you're selling a home, buying a home, or adding doors to your rental portfolio, put the team at Central Line Realty to work for you. Go to centrallinerealty.com and let's get started.
This is Sheriff Darren Campbell with the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Every day, scammers are targeting people right here in our community through phone calls, emails, and text messages, trying to steal your money, your personal information, and even your identity. If someone calls claiming to be from a government, a bank, or even law enforcement demanding money or personal details, stop and think. Legitimate organizations will never ask for gift cards, wire transfers, or your passwords over the phone or email. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Hang up, don't click that link, and never share personal information with someone you don't trust. At the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, we're working to protect our community, and we're proud to partner with WSIC because local starts here, and keeping you informed keeps you safe. Stay alert, stay smart, and don't fall for a scam.
What if we've got it backwards? Stop letting frustration hold your child back. The book Extinguishing Einstein reveals why traditional methods fail and what really works for ADHD. Claim your free copy today at RoyerNeuroscience.com and empower your child to thrive.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering how to make your money work for you instead of worrying it won't? Find out more by listening to Live in Large Radio with Mark Henry of Alloy Wealth Management, Saturday mornings at 11 and Sundays at 5 on WSIC. Local starts here.
When I started skiing, I didn't think about setting any records. When I won my first race, I didn't think about how many more I might win. So when I made it to the top of the world, it never crossed my mind to stop. Being the best isn't the same as being your best. There are no shortcuts to the top, so find the people who help get you there. I'm Michaela Schifrin, and that's what Team Stiefel means to me. If you're an advisor or an investor, choose Stiefel, where success meets success.
Stiefel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Harness the healing power of horses. With the amazing staff at Willow Equine in Mooresville, we create a supportive environment conducive to healing and growth, dedicated to self-discovery and overcoming adversity. There's a program for you at willowequine.com.
Don't miss a thing. Download the WSIC News app today. WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. U.S. mortgage rates climbed from a 3-year low as fears about a potential trade war over Greenland drove up yields for the government bonds that guide home loans. According to Freddie Mac, the average for a 30-year fixed loan was 6.09%, up from 6.06% last week, which was the lowest point since September 2022. Other data out today shows personal spending in November rose by more than expected, and the U.S. economy grew at a better than forecast rate of 4.4% last summer, mostly thanks to strong consumer spending. Also, first-time jobless claims last week held steady at 200,000 claims. And Lululemon is bringing back online sales of its Get Low leggings in North America after temporarily pulling the product from its website amid complaints that they were too see-through. The U.S. and Canada product pages now note that the leggings should be paired with skin tone seamless underwear and that shoppers should size up. They also state that when stretched, the loops in the engineered knit naturally flex apart. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC. Local starts here.
We're back with more ways to understand the most powerful computer you'll ever own. Your Brain. Your Brain Matters, hosted by Dr. Tim Royer, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Dr. Royer here. Welcome back to Your Brain Matters. We're talking about the second episode of our sleep series and how to measure. But before, I'm looking at this picture that's on the when you're looking at our advertisement, and it's me holding this brain, most important thing in the universe. But we asked our granddaughter, what's Pop holding? She's 2 years old. What did she say she's holding?
She said Pop's holding a turtle.
A turtle. So the
And
brain, and I kind of look at it here in the picture.
Does look like a little
it sort
turtle.
Of looks like a turtle,
yeah,
doesn't it?
His head is hiding in his shell.
Yeah.
But she has a favorite favorite little animal. That is Skipperty, the
Skipperty.
turtle.
So
Skipperty.
I'm holding Skipperty the turtle
Well,
there.
your own version of it. Yours is not as cute as hers.
Okay, Amelia, I
All
love
right.
it. I love it. Okay,
now
so
we're
let's
going to say your turtle matters.
You know what? Your brain does matter. You guys think about that. Think how you're using your brain is involved in every single thing you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like if we remember back to Eliot's quote, he said, you know, when I listen to my brain, it never lets me down.
Yeah, I love that. I always say that part back to myself. I'm like, aim, stop, listen to let your brain talk to you.
Big time. And what our brain needs to be able to function is sleep.
Yes.
Sleep is the ultimate predictor of brain performance is sleep. We're the only creatures that choose not to sleep. And so we need to get back to really leaning into this great capability of restoration.
Yeah.
So we're talking about how we measure. I left off with talking about the EEG that we send home, which is fantastic.
Fantastic.
We love these things,
Yep.
okay? So apart from that, we can look at daytime readings. So like at our assessment that we've been advertising,
Yes.
which you'd be crazy not to come and get it. We're going to be looking at brainwave activity, but daytime activity can show us what's going on in the brain as far as if it's not getting enough sleep.
Yes.
And so there's a specific set of brainwaves called theta waves. You'll learn more about that down the road here. But we can see those thetas almost instantaneously
Right.
and tell this person's not sleeping correctly, right?
This really knocked the message home to me when I saw my EEG.
Yes.
Was that the choices I made about sleep actually is impacting my ability during the daytime.
Yeah.
Because since our brain doesn't stop, we don't just go park it and
Right.
turn it off. It's always running. The brain, if it doesn't sleep well at night, is working really hard all day to make up for that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I mean, it's really kind of sobering when you see that, because you're like, oh, I want my day to be good.
Right.
So if I want my day to be good, then I have to put in the work prior to my day
Big
to
time.
get my brain ready to go.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
comment. I just said this to a golf coach a couple hours ago that I was doing a phone call with, that what your golfer is doing at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
is more dependent on anything what he was doing at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And that's how we
exactly.
want you guys to look at this, is what my brain's doing right now is reflective of the decision I made last night, or if I can't sleep correctly.
Yep.
So these daytime EEGs are phenomenal. We also look at what your heart's doing, and we look at something called coherence,
Yep.
which is the balancing of the heart. And when that's not there, we have less resilience and a factor related to sleep. But a big one that we measure when we're looking at the heart is something called VLF, which is very low frequency. And when that is off, we can tell that one of two things: you're very highly inflamed, or you're having a significant problem with sleep, which probably go hand in hand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we can see that on your heart. So all these indicators: heart, brain, and then the last
Yep.
one is your hormones, right?
Oh, yeah. That's basically a truth teller.
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
crazy?
Yep. So you get up in the morning, this is going to sound gross, but you spit in a tube, so your saliva,
Yeah.
and then we send it to a lab, and we are able to measure components that tell us how you slept the night before, or
And-
the whole pattern of sleep.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with your adrenals, but it's all connected. Like, you can't, when you do all of those measures, you might say, I slept pretty good, but those measures might say, no way did you sleep very good. Like, you barely are, making your head, keeping your head above water.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was doing a lecture a couple years ago, and it was on sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was to these businessmen, and I said, hey, 1 to 10, how did y'all sleep last night? And 2 guys, second, third row, raised their hand, said 9. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, that's great. You both slept not like out of 10, 10 being the best. Yes. I said, well, let's see how you're sleeping. So I sent them both home that night at the hotel with a Z machine.
Yep.
They came back, and one guy was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But the other one had so much sleep disruption, no REM sleep, no deep sleep, all kinds of awakenings. And what happened was he had adapted to that, thinking that that was normal. And he's like, man, that was a 9. I'd hate to see what a 3 is, right?
Yeah.
But I'm asking you guys right now, how do you sleep?
Yeah.
And you're saying, oh, pretty good. Well, how do you know that?
Right.
Like,
right.
because we can adapt to these things that we don't want to. So we look at hormones. Then those cortisol results will let us know.
Yeah.
And then if we have to, we do a full-blown sleep study, which we can have a neurologist look at. But that's not necessary. We have a device that will do all of those things.
Yeah. I feel like everybody should be so impressed that there's so much that goes into a night of sleep. It isn't just that you turned the lights out and time just flew by and then you woke up the next day and started doing important things. So many important things have been happening throughout those entire 8 and 9 hours that we can measure and we can understand. It's just something to be respected.
Big time.
Yeah.
As we kind of round out in the next few minutes of this segment, we'll do a kind of shortened version of Into the Mind. So, Aim, let me ask you, we haven't always measured our sleep, right?
No,
You and I really got into this the last 15, 20 years. When you started to measure sleep, how did that impact you? What did you kind of see? What were some results out of some things that happened?
Yeah, I think that, well, for one thing, with having 4 kids, I went through a period of time where I had disrupted nights.
Right.
So in a chronic fashion. So then you're just surviving. And I have daughters now that have my grandbabies, and I watch them, and they're doing the same thing. And that's just a reality of life.
Right.
And you as a female are built for that. We have certain features of our female body that are able to withstand that kind of a thing for a certain amount of time. But right around the time that my kids were all grown and off going to school is when I started learning more about the brain. So it was perfect timing to be like, okay, I'm not waking up at night with babies anymore. Now I have the choice to respect my sleep cycle and decide when to go to bed.
Right.
Which is the first step.
Big time.
Is deciding when to go to bed. Because we all know at a certain point we have to get out of bed.
Right.
But to learn how to back up the clock to allow 8 hours before when I go to bed, that I'm going to be able to sleep or be in bed for 8 hours. Now I have the luxury of allowing 9 hours, partly because I've learned with doing these sleep studies and doing the EEG that at least 1 hour of my night is awakenings and falling asleep or, getting up or going back to sleep. So I'm factoring in 9 so that I have that time. So that has been massive for me. And then I'm very, very careful about caffeine because it really affects my sleep quality.
And you've seen that.
And I've seen that, right?
Exactly.
And so that's, and exercise affects my sleep quality. So like I'm committed to like a practice of exercise each day. I'm committed to, if I have caffeine, it's a small amount and it's right at the beginning of the day because I don't want it to impact my night numbers and my cortisol and my melatonin. So yes, all of my choices are pretty much based on having measured something.
Yeah, we always talk about how you really can't manage what you don't measure. Right.
That's so good.
And watching you do that has been really eye-opening for both of us to be doing that. And us understanding, we never really understood sleep. I wasn't taught that in school.
No.
Sleep architecture, that yes, we need 8 hours to get the full 25% deep, 25% REM, but it takes the brain about 20 minutes to get to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And the brain is naturally going to wake up about 30 minutes. Those are called wake after sleep onset. So let's add that in. Next thing you know, you're just under the 9-hour window. And if you're choosing, well, I'm going to stay up for another half hour, you're robbing yourself of REM, which is your long-term investment into memory, which could lead to dementia, other cognitive diseases.
Discover what your brain's been trying to tell you. Your Brain Matters with Dr. Tim Royer will be right back. WSIC, local, starts here.
Well, you never know, a big and bad winter storm was on the way. Pretty quiet, tranquil weather, sunshine, upper 50s for our Thursday to enjoy. Then as we get into the upcoming weekend, it does look like we're going to have a mess on our hands. Still not ready to iron out exact details, but getting a clearer picture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain on Sunday that could leave long-lasting travel and power impacts in the next week. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar.
We've got performances, exhibitions, and live music you won't want to miss, all close to home.
First up, head to the Armour Street Theater in downtown Davidson for a timeless theatrical experience. The Davidson Community Players present Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale, a powerful story of jealousy, forgiveness, and redemption brought to life on stage. Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale runs January 22nd through February 8th. Find specific showtimes, ticket info, and more at davidsonCommunityPlayers.org under the Shows tab. That's davidsonCommunityPlayers.org and take in Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale starting January 22nd.
If live music is more your style, plan a trip to the Twisted Oak in Statesville on Saturday, January 24th for Rocky Lynn Live. Rocky's blend of country, rock, and heartland energy makes for a night of great tunes and good vibes. The show kicks off at 7:30, and all the details you need are up at downtownstatesville.com. You won't want to miss Rocky's first hometown show of 2026, Saturday, January 24th. Rocky Lynn Live at the Twisted Oak in Statesville.
And finally, for our art lovers, Mooresville Arts at the Depot invites you to the 13th annual Winter Juried Exhibition, running January 20th through February 26th at the historic train depot in downtown Mooresville. See incredible work from local and regional artists judged by Marissa Pascucci, gallery and collection coordinator from Davidson College. Don't miss the artist reception on Friday, January 23rd, 6 to 8 p.m. To learn more about this exhibition and other arts offerings, head to mooresvillearts.org.
For more Lake Norman news, events, job opportunities, and real estate information, visit liveworkplaylkn.com.
That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Brain Science Made Simple. Your Brain Matters, hosted by Dr. Tim Royer, continues on WSIC. Local starts here.
Okay, welcome back to our closing segment today. We're talking about sleep. And if you haven't figured out yet that Doc and I are quite passionate about this subject, then we're going to have to do another 3 weeks, I think, of it, because we are super passionate about this. We were laughing on the way to the studio talking about how our world right now is revolving between our new grandkids and then caring for my aging parents, which is my aging dad now. And this week, sleep
is all it's been about, isn't it?
All it's been about. Like, one baby didn't sleep good last night, and then she slept really good 3 nights in a row, and then my dad, he's struggling with some dementia changes, and it's impacting his sleep, and now his daytimes are mixed up and his abilities are changing in relation to the sleep. So anyway, if you think this doesn't apply to you, like, it does. Like, you know about babies, like when they don't have a good night of sleep, or your child, your little 5-year-old, poor night of sleep, behavior is out the window, and performance is, let's just get through this day and survive it. And we're no different than that. We try to gloss over it. We try to put the caffeine in, make ourselves energetic, do all these things, but we're not the same as when we get a good night of sleep. So we have a little phrase that is sleep determines our ceiling.
Yes.
And it really is true. We know it from a science perspective, but like, I also experience that too.
Right.
Like, it is funny because my daughter experienced 3 good nights of sleep now.
Yes.
And it is so funny because the color is returning into her face. Her humor level is like right back where, she's extremely hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's just coming out of her. And she's, trying to thinking up these new things we need to go and do. And I'm like, oh, this girl has 3 nights of sleep after, 2.5 years of the mom thing.
Yeah.
But it does also remind me that sleep is like such a learned ability. And as much as we can learn to sleep, like we're training these babies to
Yes.
sleep right now.
Right.
And it's hard. They're crying it out, they're struggling. You can learn how to sleep. You can also learn how not
Not
to
to
sleep,
sleep.
which I wanted to ask Doc to kind of share with us an experience with one of our clients. We have so many clients with sleep issues, so many. Often they come with a different issue.
Right.
And then as we're unpacking the assessment data, Doc will be like, okay, when did the sleep issue begin? And they'll be like, we didn't say we had a sleep issue, but it's there in the data. But I wanted him to unpack a situation with the client and just kind of walk us through, like, maybe how did this client learn to sleep poorly, or how did he get to this spot? And then how maybe can they come out of it?
Yeah, and I would say that I don't always catch that right out of the chute. I don't know how many times I got to be hit over the head with it, as we start working on all these other things,
Yes.
all
Yeah.
these other
Performance.
performance-based
Yeah.
things. And then I'm like, oh, let's take a look at his sleep. Oh my gosh, what have I been doing? I've been banging my head against the wall on all these other things to increase this person's performance in whatever that is, academically, athletically, in the workplace, boardroom to locker room to classroom, whatever. We're looking at that performance because you know what? Your brain matters and your performance matters, right? And you start to look at 3 p.m. and what medicine and what intervention, but you don't look at 3 a.m. And please stop in your tracks, and you're worried about your weight. You're worried about this relationship. You're worried about this big decision you have to make. Please sleep, sleep, sleep. I have a quarterback that I've been working with for a long time, and he will tell you that after every game, when we kind of exchange back and forth, the NFL quarterback, that I'll say, breathe and get some sleep, 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 because we have to restore the system. But I want to give you an example of an athlete. You would all know this person who said his name, but I'm not going to share that on the radio today. But this guy came to me, and he had been drafted into the NFL a few years ago, and his performance just wasn't up to what he expected it to be, what others expected him to be. And we worked on a lot of different things. We got his breathing was unbelievable. I mean, it's just perfect. And that was affecting his heart and his vagus nerve in really positive ways. We worked a ton on his vision because this person needed to be, for their skill set, their vision had to be like spot on, right? We worked on depth perception. We worked on peripheral vision. We worked on saccadic movement, speed, accuracy, dialed in. I mean, this guy, like, if I did the checklist of performance metrics, it was check, check, check. Plus, this guy has an IQ of like $150. I mean, he's like in the genius range. So intelligence there, problem solving there, athletic ability there, but we're just still not hitting it, right? Like we're just falling short, like not doing well in the red zone, not completing passes, things. It's just like, what's going on here, right? Like all of this is not adding up. When I do the neuroanalytics and I process those numbers, like these numbers are right. What in the world am I missing? And, Doc isn't the smartest guy in the room. I completely forgot the thing that brought me here, which is sleep, right?
Well, probably because he wasn't complaining about it.
No, that's a good,
Right?
isn't that a good point?
Yeah.
A lot of times people say, oh, I sleep fine,
Yes. Yep.
or I'll have a couple in the room and I'll ask the husband, how do you sleep? Oh, I sleep great. And the wife's like, no, you don't.
I just said that this weekend.
Right?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't sleep great, or he'll say that about her. And the thing is, this is what's so kind of tricky about this thing, is we've said it before, and you'll hear me say it again. As humans, one of the best things we do is we adapt. If you move me if my job changed and I have to move to Alaska, I will adapt to Alaska. We got this big snowstorm coming in this week. Hey, you know what? We're going to get through it. We're all going to adapt to that. That isn't our normal North Carolina gig, but we're going to figure it out, right? You move me down to Guatemala, I'll figure out how to adapt to that. Change my work pace, I adapt to that, right? we adapt, which is great. But the bad thing about being a human is we adapt, right? Is we adapt to, oh, now I only need 6.5 hours of sleep. Well, really? Really? When these guys come in, I just need 4 hours of sleep. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're going to die early. You're going to have dementia. You're going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know, every chronic disease that exists on the planet is either brought on or worsened by poor sleep patterns. We know that from examining third shift workers compared to first shift. It's very, very important. So I missed this with this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he says, I'm sleeping well. I said, okay, let's go ahead and look at your sleep study. So I send him home with the Z machine.
Yeah.
First night comes back, pretty much non-existent deep sleep. He needs at least 2 hours. As an elite athlete, he's got to be up in the 2.5 or 3 hours of deep sleep because that's where we make our testosterone. He's got 30 minutes of deep sleep. REM sleep, pretty decent. Deep sleep, I'm like, well, something must be wrong here. I do it again, 25 minutes of deep sleep. Do it again, 35 minutes. This guy is chronically not getting deep sleep. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense. So then I said, well, let's look at his hormones. So the saliva thing that you talked about, send him home with the saliva. Here's an elite athlete who should be on free testosterone, about 110, 120. I get his free testosterone back. He's a 50. That's like a 70-year-old man.
Wow. Wow.
I'm like, what in the heck? So no one, he's not getting enough sleep, so he's not making testosterone. Now, here's another thing that happens in our society, okay, is men come in their 40s, 50s, 60s, fatigue, different symptoms, and the doctor just right away gives them supplement of testosterone, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do we learn from here? What do we know? For hopefully you guys have been listening, is deep sleep is where I make testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing when a guy tells me that he's low on testosterone, I say, what's going on with your deep sleep?
Yep.
And before I supplement it and screw up your entire system for the rest of your life, let's fix your deep sleep so your memory will be here in 15, 20 years, right?
Right.
So this guy, young, healthy guy, poor free testosterone, I'm like, oh, this makes some sense now. The resiliency is lower, right? So then we start to look at awakenings and we look at REM sleep. And so then we really started to hammer in at improving his sleep. And it was amazing. In 1 year, he went from kind of sort of so-so to making the Pro Bowl. It was incredible. And I didn't really change a lot of these other things because we've been working on most of those things for a while. But it was the sleep that was like the superpower. And then from there, we both realized, hey, if you're not getting more than 9 hours, it ain't going to work for you.
Right.
So his family became committed to his sleep, right?
Yep.
So he's sometimes pumping out 9.5, 10 hours. Roger Federer used to say, I need 10 hours of sleep or I'm not normal.
Yep.
So very, very important, interesting case study, but that applies to all of you as we finish up 2-minute drill.
The 2-minute drill. Yes. So last week, Doc talked about doing 30 for 30. So what we were challenging everybody to do, and ourselves as well, is add 30 minutes to our sleep window that we have available. And so, man, I hope some of you are doing this.
Yeah,
this is a good thing to do, especially with the darkness at night. Because now, I mean, there's better reason to go lay down because it's dark out anyways. What else could we add? Just one little nugget to this.
Stay on your 30 for 30, but I want us to pay attention to blue light.
Okay.
We all know that blue light decreases melatonin. And so we want to avoid blue at night. Use blue blockers. Strongly recommend. You get them for $20 on Amazon. But the inverse of that is you need you need more blue in the morning. We need to get more. So get outside for 10, 15 minutes, get some blue. We'll talk about some other ways to get blue light, but you need blue in the morning and no blue at night.
Great radio doesn't end here. Catch the full